Yes. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests and friends. It's after a long time that I'm wishing you all a good afternoon. We've been wishing good morning all this while. So when I read the theme today, I was wondering that what is that one challenge or something that I don't understand about communication? And it turned out that it was a very simple, basic quote that keeps me surprised or keeps me thinking all the while. The simple quote is communication is key. Okay, if communication is the key, where's the lock? Which I want to open. So all I'm hoping today is that Toastmaster of the Day, Mohit, in his keynote, covers or helps me tie the key to the lock and unlock it. I look forward to your session, Toastmaster Mohit, and I'm sure same way does everybody else. Well, with that in mind, let's read out the Toastmasters mission statement for today. The mission statement of Toastmasters International is to provide a supportive and positive learning environment where members can develop communication and leadership skills. And let me also call out the basic ground rules. Rule number 1, let us all keep ourselves on mute when somebody else is speaking, unless, of course, when called for. Rule number 2, let us keep our videos on with the smiles and engage as much as possible. And rule number 3, let's avoid talking about topics like sex, religion, politics, which might offend the other listeners. With that, let me call upon the presiding officer for today, Toastmaster Mohit and Toastmaster Diptendu in turns. The stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepti. It was a wonderful start to this meeting. And yes, if communication is the key, then what's the lock? Hopefully, in the session today, we'll try and uncover that. But before we get to that, heartiest wishes to everyone for the Diwali. It's a festive season. I'm sure everybody has celebrated and is still celebrating some of the festivals. Even today, there is a festival, right? So, uh, congratulations, best wishes, and may God give you prosperity, health, and happiness all along. Um, Diptendu, would you like to add anything as we welcome our guests?
Sure. I'd like to welcome you all to a wonderful meeting of Leaders Connect Toastmasters Club and Toastmasters Club of Storytellers. And I'm really happy to see you all. I'd like to wish you all a very happy Diwali. Some of you might have celebrated it yesterday. For many, it was day before yesterday. So I hope that we continue to prosper personally and professionally with Toastmasters and continue to add value to the world through our existence. So again, a very warm welcome to one and all for today's meeting.
Thank you, Diptendu. And we do have some guests as well today. So let's invite them and see what brings them to our meeting today. I see that we've got Gautam Pasanta. Gautam, would you like to come on the spotlight and share with us what brings you here today?
Thank you so much, and I'm very happy to join in this meeting. I'm also a Toastmaster from Pokhara, Nepal. We have club here in Pokhara. So I just saw the uh, advertisement post from in WhatsApp. So I just wanted to join and be part of this meeting. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That's great, Gautam. Thank you for joining. It's wonderful having you, and great to see that you're joining all the way from Nepal. These online meetings make this possible for us to connect regardless of which geographical location we are in. So we hope we will have a mutually positive and learning experience in this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
We also have Vinay with us. Vinay, would you like to come forward and share with us what brings you to the meeting today?
Yeah, hi Mohit. Hi all. Yeah, I
Hi.
have seen the post in WhatsApp and I thought the topic is very much interesting. So yeah, I'm looking forward for this and yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Vinay. We are equally looking forward to interacting with you in the meeting today. Would you like to share with us a little bit more about you? What do you do? And are you already a Toastmaster or is this your first experience?
No, I'm not a Toastmaster. This is my second or third meeting. That's it. Just I am exploring the how Toastmasters work and how things will go like this year.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, we equally look forward to your feedback after you finish with this session. We also
Yes.
have, yeah, welcome once again, Vinay. We also have Raj joining us. Hi, Raj. Would you like to share with us a little bit about yourself? Raj, would you like to unmute and share with us what brings you to the meeting today? Okay, looks like some issues with Raj's connection. Anyway, let's continue with the meeting. So we have, I think
Hello.
all of us, yeah, hi. Hi, Raj.
Hi, sorry, sir. There was some technical glitch. So yeah, my name is Raj Chaudhary, and I have been in the Toastmaster last from 3 years, and currently I'm serving as an area director. Last time I was also an area director with Mahek, and with you also, sir, last time. So yeah, I'm very glad to be a part of this, meeting.
Wonderful. It's amazing having you, Raj. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, so with that, and I hope that I've covered everyone. Ujjwal is a guest still, but he already knows a bit about our meetings, and I had a offline chat with Ujjwal. He's going to join as guest for some time, and then hopefully he will make up his mind to join Toastmasters formally. So, welcome, Ujjwal, to the meeting.
Thank you very much.
All right, okay. So, welcome everyone. And with that, let's move on to the first segment of our meeting, which is where I hand over the stage to the Toastmaster of the day. I am myself the Toastmaster of the day, so I'll hand over the stage to myself where I wear the hat of the Toastmaster of the day. And today, the session is all about acing our communication skills, right? I've been a Toastmaster of 10 years. And like I said, I was talking to Ujjwal earlier today, and I was telling him that it's been a decade of Toastmasters. And even now, I have my own set of challenges when it comes to communication. So, with a person who has 10 years in Toastmasters, which is all about communication and leaderships, right? If I can have challenges with communication, I'm sure some of you or all of you will have some or the other challenges with communication. My typical challenge has been that I become too anxious, or sometimes I feel that is my content good enough? That is the feeling that I have, which is my biggest challenge at the moment. So let me invite you and request at least some of you to come forward and share with us what is your biggest challenge when it comes to communication. And when you share that, I'll make a note of that. And in the session that follows, we will try and see how much of that we can address in the session today. So opening it up for anybody to come forward and share with us what is your biggest communication challenge. Yes, Ragini, let's start with you.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. The biggest challenge I have faced so far is the pitch and the voice. People keep saying it's flat, and even if I'm putting out some emotions, it's flat. Even if I'm showing some anger, it's flat. So that is where I want to practice uh, voice modulation in my communication style.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks for sharing that, Ragini. Let's move on to, yes, Ravinder. Please share with us what is your biggest challenge?
I al- Actually, I have a lot of biggest challenges. Earlier, I was not able to speak because I came from a very small village where we used to speak Haryanvi, not even Hindi, right? But later, when we move ahead in life, we start speaking Hindi, gradually English as well. So earlier, I was not able to speak very clearly. Now I'm seeing because of some practice, I'm getting the some improvement. But like every day now I'm working with MNC and day to day we are speaking in English. But what I'm realizing, we are speaking only 100 words in the office because we have very specific words about the project, about the people, about what work we are there. So I think I become very fluent in speaking those 100 words which are very related to project and in the office. But when it comes to your personal life, your personal communication with in social, when we have to speak a lot about the day to day problems, about so I was falling less of lack of words when I'm speaking, influences speaking with person while talking a lot. So now that's my big challenge, the lack of words, and
Mhm.
sometimes the clarity in my voice, and the same Ragini mentioned, the modulation in the voice that I am missing.
Okay, great. Thanks for sharing that, Ravinder. So Ragini is biggest challenges voice modulation and how to improve that. Ravinder's is mostly about those 100 words that we are used to. We are able to speak that, but when it comes to new content, personal content, how to comfortably share that. Thank you. Anybody else would like to come forward and share with us what your challenges
Yeah,
are?
yes, Mohan. This is
Yes,
Vinay.
Vinay.
Yeah, whenever we talk, it like we will think like whatever we are talking is correct or not, whether it is valuable to the other persons or not. Yeah, that also I think it's an issue. Like what others want to listen, we don't know, right? Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
So basically, Vinay wants to say that I have shared the communication, but how about whether it is received in the right manner or not? How can I be sure of that? Whether it was the correct use of words, whether it was something that the other person actually wanted to hear, or was it completely off the point? So okay, great. That's a valid concern. Anybody else would like to come forward, share your concerns or challenges?
Yeah, sir. Ujjwal this side.
Yes, Ujjwal.
Uh, I am generally short of the words and grammatically also I need corrections and more practice I need to do, I think. Then only I can effectively communicate.
Okay, you think you fall short of words and grammar and practice is a bit of a challenge for you. Okay, that's great. Thanks for sharing that. And anybody else? Gautam or
Yeah, Vinay
Vinay?
this side. So
Yes.
yeah, sometimes we will feel the construction of words very difficult when we are in a flow. We don't get the flow, right?
Okay.
Yeah, construction of sentences and everything on the flow will be difficult sometimes. That's what I feel.
Okay. So constructing, or you mean connecting, structuring the thoughts is a challenge, even though you have the content in mind, but how best to uh, come in a flow state. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Yes,
I,
Gautam. Yes, please
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, this is Basanta Gautam. For me, biggest challenge is when I want to uh, communicate with other people, like especially when I want talk in the mass. So I forget many things that I want to share uh, with my audience or with the community. So that is my big challenge. I uh, tend to get emotional. So then I forget many things that I want to share. Thank
Okay, forget some of the content that you've already prepared when it comes to presenting in a large audience. Okay, fair enough. All right. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your inputs. And the entire idea why we are gathering your inputs is so that we can first identify what the challenge is. Only then can we try to address it. So we will cover more on the acing the communication, but let me first tell you the structure of a Toastmasters meeting. And some of you have been Toastmasters, but some are guests as well. So for everybody's benefit, a typical Toastmasters meeting is divided into three parts. It starts with prepared speeches, goes on to table topics, and then the last and perhaps the most important element of any Toastmasters meeting is evaluation. That's where we see what's been done well and what is it that can be done even better. So for today, our general evaluator is Toastmaster Mehak. I would like to invite Toastmaster Mehak to come on the stage and share with us the details of her role in the meeting today. Toastmaster Mehak is studying Masters in Commerce from Delhi School of Economics, and she's also leading the placement cell in her college. So with a huge round of applause, let's welcome Toastmaster Mehak on the stage.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohit. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Today, I'm playing the role of General Evaluator. In Toastmasters, the role of General Evaluator is basically like you have to provide your evaluation, which is an integral part of Toastmasters. It can be provided in three ways. One, that would be the speech evaluations. The speaker would be evaluating in the commendation, recommendation, and commendation approach. Following which, there would be a tag team, that is the timer, R counter, and the grammarian, and accordingly, you will be evaluated. Towards the end, the last and the final section would be the general evaluation for the whole meeting. Now, first, I will have the tag team players introduction. For our today, the meeting, we have Toastmaster Ravinder playing the role of timer as well as our counter. So I would request him to please describe your role both as the timer as well as the our counter.
Thanks, Toastmaster Mehak. It is often said, if you take care of small things, the big things will be take care of themselves. To speak filler words can be the smallest things. In the sense they get unnoticed. Yet we can the fact is that they dilute the impact speech you create. So just to take care of all the filler words today, I'm playing a role of aha counter who will take care of your filler words like uh, mm, like, etc. So I will present my report at the end of session when called by the general evaluator. So that is all about the aha counter. Next, my role is timer. So times play vital role in our life. If I say my journey 2-3 weeks back, I was going somewhere and I have to take train from the new railway station. But unfortunately, I was getting delay. Even I started my journey from my home around 15 minutes late. I board the cab. Even that day, the person who was going to take me in cab, that also was late. I board in the cab. I have to get down Sector 25 metro station. But I requested him to drop me in Sector 21 Dwarka station so that I can take airport metro. By chance, I get down on the right time. And just in 2 minutes, the metro came and I board in the cab. When I reached New Delhi station, I saw only 4 minutes were left, and the station was full of crowd. So I believe I ran more than 2 kilometers continuously. I'm running, and just pushing the people and running, and people were shouting behind me. Anyways, I didn't take care. That day, I just get the benefit of grace period of 5 seconds. When I was just getting down from the stairs, I seen the train is started moving. So I ran and caught my, I just board in the train. So just with the period of 5 seconds of grace period. So we have to take care of our time. we have to manage our time. So it's very important in our life. So just to take care of everyone audience time and everyone time, we request we respect everyone time. So I will be playing the role of timer, who will we have the different speakers like the prepared speaker, table topic masters, and evaluators. So for the prepared speeches, we have a time of 5 to 7 minutes. On completing the 5 minutes, there is a green card will flash on your screen. On completing the 6 minutes, there will be yellow card flash on the screen. And at 7th minute, there is a red card will flash on the screen with a grace of 30 seconds. So speakers, if you see the red card, please start wrapping your speech within a time of 30 seconds. Whoever not complete within 7 past 30 seconds will get disqualified for the voting. Second, for the table topics, we have the time of 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute completion, we'll show the green, half past 1 minute, yellow, or 2 minutes, the red card. And again with a grace period of 30 seconds. And for the evaluators, we have 2 to 3 minutes. On completing 2 minutes, we have green card, half past 2 minutes, yellow card. On completion of 3 minutes, we have the red card. And again, a grace period of 30 seconds. So if it's for all the speakers, either table topic or prepared speakers, if you cross your grace period, you will be disqualified for the voting. Thanks, Meg. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ravinder, for explaining your role as the timer as well as the outcome so well. Now, I would like to invite on stage Toastmaster Diptendu to describe his role as the grammarian for the meeting today.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Yesterday, I had a pizza, and the toppings on the pizza were a scoop of vanilla ice cream, a scoop of chocolate ice cream, onions, capsicum, oregano, and chili flakes. So I had this pizza and I suffered from food poisoning because clearly the pizza that I had didn't follow the rules of a pizza. Vanilla ice cream and chocolate ice cream really don't have place on a pizza. So what I'm trying to convey is that when rules of preparation any dish is broken, it can result in food poisoning. And if rules of English language are broken, then it can poison or dilute the message that we are trying to convey. So today, as the grammarian, I would be listening to all the speakers carefully, trying to understand if they are off with their use of verbs and tenses or subject-verb agreement. I will try to offer suggestions and constructive criticism on how could the sentence construction be better, how could the transitions be more seamless, and I would also challenge you all today with a word of the day and the phrase of the day. So today's word of the day is going to be equivocate or equivocation. The word means ambiguous language so as to conceal the truth or avoid committing something. So let me give you an example of this word. The primary skill needed to become a motivational speaker is the skill of equivocation. So equivocation again means ambiguous language so as to conceal the truth. This is going to be the word of the day. The phrase of the day is going to be crying. The phrase of the day is going to be crying over spilt milk. Crying over spilt milk. Here, spilt milk represents an event or a happening that occurred in the past. So the usage of this phrase could be it doesn't matter if you cry over spilt milk, the past is not going to repeat itself. So I encourage you all to use the word of the day and phrase of the day, and you would hear back from me again during the general evaluation section. Back to Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Diptendu, for sharing the word of the day as well as the phase of the day today. Now, I just want to say that feedback is the key to growth, and it is also being considered as the breakfast of champions. So it's how we understand our strengths, identify the areas for improvement, and ultimately improve our skills. So with this, be mindful about the timings. Be sure that you are using the word of the day and the phrase of the day, and be mindful about your R's and M's as well. With this, I would like to pass on the stage back to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you, Mehak, and thank you, Mehak's entire tag team for explaining their role so well. Now, communication is all about avoiding equivocation and being able to get your message across to the intended audience. Let me further ask you, what does the word communicate itself means? Because whenever we understand something, then we are able to do it better. So the word communicate, just think about what comes to your mind when you think about the broken down elements of the word com. What are the other words that resonate or come to your mind when you think about com? Anybody?
Trade, commerce.
Commerce. Okay.
Religion. Com.
Okay, the Hindi word com. Okay.
Come.
Okay. As in like come nearer, come closer. Okay. Think about like Diptindu and I were co-presenting. So how about going in that direction a bit when we look at com?
Okay. Collaborate.
Collaborate. Okay.
Okay.
Coming
And I also
together.
bring the religious angle with Om.
Okay. All right. Okay. I have to say that we've gone a bit too far with this, but still, let's try to make sense of this. Some of you mentioned religion. So it's about community, right? Whenever you form, so com is about community, right? Some set of people coming together. So the other word that comes to our mind is common community, something that we are doing jointly. We are co-presenting, presenting together, so joint. So com is all about ensuring that something that is known to me, I make that commonplace to today's set of people who are with me. Right now, I know something, I want to ensure that others understand it. So that's where the word com comes in. Now, MUNIC, what does that mean? Any idea? We say it is about common, but how do we ensure that, how do I ensure that whatever I know about communication is passed on to you?
Isn't it a place? Munich.
Okay. Yeah, it is a place. But in terms of communication, how do I make my knowledge commonplace with you all? How will that happen? That will only happen if I share it. So this is coming from a French word, I think, which means which is MUNIS, and it means sharing or the giving out some sort of service to others. Only when I share my knowledge will it become commonplace with this set of audience. And now finally, eight. Right? Think about other words that end with eight. What could that represent? Initiate, facilitate. What does eight mean?
Yeah.
What is common among all the words that end in eight? Facilitate, communicate, fabricate, eight.
It's a
Create.
verb.
Doing something.
Create. Yeah.
Exactly.
It creates a verb.
It's a verb. That's the point, Diptendu. Uh, it is basically an act of doing something, right? So communicate itself, the word means making common through sharing whatever knowledge or whatever message I have. It will be an act of doing this is what communication is all about. So we will cover more about communication in the segments to follow. For now, let's take our meeting forward and go to the first section, which is the prepared speeches. For today, we have one prepared speaker. Our prepared speaker is Ragini. But before I call Ragini on the stage, I would like to invite her evaluator to come forward and share with us the objectives of her speech. Today, Ragini's speech is being evaluated by Toastmaster Diptendu. So let me invite Toastmaster Diptendu on the stage so that he can share her objectives. Toastmaster Diptendu is a musician and a public speaker by passion. He works as a software engineer in telecom domain, and he's also passionate about data analytics and AI domain. So let's give a huge round of applause as Diptendu comes on the spotlight.
Thank you, Mr. Tio Modi. Today, Toastmaster Ragini would be delivering a speech from the path of team collaboration. This is going to be project 1 of level 2, and the objectives of this project are for Ragini to identify her primary leadership style, and the purpose of this speech has to be for Ragini to share some aspect of her primary leadership style and to discuss leadership styles in general. Timer, please note the duration of this speech is going to be 5 to 7 minutes. Wishing Ragini the very best, and back to Mr. TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Diptendu. Ragini is a Scrum Master by profession, and she lives in Hyderabad with her family. She's giving her project level 2, project 1. So, Ragini, I never got promoted. Ragini.
Hope I'm audible and visible. A quick check. There's a potential to promote one person. Sir, please. No, Ragini, not this time. There's a potential to send somebody on site. I'm requesting, sir, please. No, Ragini, not this time. Straight 14 years in IT industry, I never got promoted. You heard me right. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and future Toastmasters. I'm Ragini. Being an introvert and second child in the family, I'm okay and I'm also very happy to use used things in my life, be it a bicycle or a notebook or a wardrobe from my sisters. Trust me, I was a very happy child. I never complained to my father that I need something really brand new. I wanted to be a nutritionist, but I ended up taking maths as a profession. I never cry over spilled milk. I had a very photogenic face. I wanted to do something in arts, but never dared to tell it to my parents. Being introvert, I developed a personality that, for the collective goodness of people around me, let me say yes to everything. That is, I have developed a leadership trait called altruistic leadership style. For the collective good of people around you, take a decision. That is a major reason I ended up being a Scrum Master. Empathetic listener, very diplomatic, not at all authoritative. What is the result of it? When I started my journey straight out of college, very fascinating project I got. To my shock, all of a sudden I was removed from the project. And going to my core personality of saying yes to everything, I did not even question my manager. Okay, sir, put me in something else. I was put in a project where I have to just update an Excel sheet being a BTech graduate, understand the pain of a student who has really done well in the academics. To an extent that I had to quit my job and switch another organization. Same personality trait continued. Altruistic. For the collective goodness of people around you, always say yes. Never say no, never argue, don't fight. That's a core personality since my childhood. But how did I survive 14 years without any promotion? If there is a manager in the crowd or anybody from IT industry will definitely have this question. How did you even survive? A thing, there is something in organizations always golden opportunity for people like me. Internal job moments. When I switched my organization, I did not try to change my personality or a leadership trait. Instead, I kept jumping. Team 1 to team 2, team 2 to team 3 to team 4. By the time I reached my 8th year, I thought the growth is this, but it is this. I never tried to change. Then I realized nobody took me seriously because I was not attempting or trying anything new. I was just saying yes to everything, very cautious about saying no and accepting whatever is coming on my way. That is a major never consider for promotion. So what changed since a year? I've been attending Toastmaster meetings very seriously, attending a lot of leadership programs, Iron Lady, lot of Udemy courses, lot of LinkedIn courses. I've been very active on LinkedIn to a certain extent that my HR thought I'm leaving the organization. Then I started researching a lot of leadership styles that are available outside the altruistic leadership trait. Then I realized I'm constraining myself to one style of working. What made from never getting promoted to consider for a project or a position which is 6 levels above me, which is a team manager? What is the magic that I did since a year? Let's discover. I applied some 5 to 6 leadership styles in my day-to-day job. Authoritative leadership style. You have to set something as a rule for your team. You have to change the way you talk. You have to make it really visible to the team. Then you change from saying yes or no to everything and set the pace for the team. Your team is storming, but nothing is coming as an outcome. You get into affiliative leadership style that you bring lot of team bonding, team morale, team activities, fun activities, bring lot of interpersonal skills among the people. People are looking at you for solutions. Get into coaching leadership style. Ask them lot of coaching questions. Ragini, I can swim. You can also ride a boat and go faster. Ragini, I'm going right. Why don't you just step a back and go forward? Maybe you could accelerate your project work. Ask lot of questions by getting into coaching leadership. Innovative style. People are not bringing any innovations. Do lot of workshops with the team. Lot of fishbone diagrams, hackathons, facilitate them, and change the way you are dealing with the team. These are the changes I have incorporated, and I would like to give a huge credit to my Toastmaster journey, which is a beautiful platform where people actually sit and listen to you. They give their time. Valuable thing a person can give to you is a time. So my journey since 14 years from never getting promoted to consider for 5 levels above my current position, I owe it to my Toastmaster journey. Over to TMOD. Thank you.
Huge round of applause for Ragini. Thank you, Ragini, for sharing your journey with us. Takes a lot of courage and vulnerability to be able to come forward and share this. And I think my biggest takeaway has been that one has to first realize what our style of leadership is, and then uh, learn about other leadership styles and adapt to other leadership styles to excel in one's journey. So thank you, Ragini, once again. And with that, I would like to open it up for our audience to share with Ragini what they liked about the speech and what are some of the things where they feel Ragini could have done better. So you can share it either on the group chat or personally with Ragini. And timer, I would request you to give 1 minute for this. While we are waiting for the feedback, Ragini, I have to say that your background, it looked like a virtual background to me, but you are such a neat room. That's amazing. Is that your work place at home office?
Sorry, I'm talking on mute. Yes, it's my home office, workout station, entertainment room, everything.
Very neatly done. Good job. All right.
We are done
Time
with
is
1
up.
minute. Yeah.
Okay, great. I hope, Ragini, you've received some feedback and best wishes to your journey ahead. Now, let's take the meeting forward and let's come back to our ways of communication. So, we all know what communication is, right? Even as a child, when we were babies, we would cry, the milk would come, we would stop crying. That is how we communicated. Simple, straightforward communication loop happened. But as we grew up, some complication happened. We overcomplicated it maybe. And now we find it difficult. We have challenges about communication. So let's look at some effective ways in which communication happens. Like, for example, I attended a play recently, and the play is called, those of you who know Punjabi will understand, but it's called जिस जिन्हें लाहौर नहीं वेख्या वो जमिया ही नहीं, which translates into, if somebody has not seen Lahore, which is now in Pakistan, then that person is not even born. So it's a very famous play. It's been running for last 35 years in all countries, including India and Pakistan. And the message of the play is that love conquers all boundaries of geography and of religion, and it's above everything else. So the message was communicated such a nice manner in that play. So play is one effective way in which communication happens. Can you tell me a few more ways in which you see communication happening effectively? Huh.
Body language also plays effectiveness.
Right. Okay. Yes. But like if you take it one step back, right? Plays,
Okay.
even stories, for example, that's an effective way of communication, right?
Yeah.
What else comes to your mind?
Storytelling.
Storytelling, exactly. Yes, storytelling is an effective way to communicate a message, and people use that in all uh, places, whether it is businesses or even in religious places in temples. The best message that has come across through the priests is when they communicate the message using a story. So definitely storytelling. What else?
The visual representation.
Visual representation, you mean like movies or clips
Exactly,
or
the presentations.
exactly, yes, definitely. Those are all very effective ways to get a message across. Yes.
And it should be very simple. First of all, you have to understand your audience. Then I think accordingly you have to prepare your speech and the presentations and everything. That will be more impactful. Just to understand your audience.
Knowing your audience is definitely important. Yes. Okay. So, any other forms? You some books, even books, right? Somebody said visual representation, and I'm not able to catch your name. What's your name? Sorry, is that Inam? Is that your name? Sorry, can you confirm your name? Okay. Maybe was it Abhilasha who was speaking? Anyway, so yeah, so visual representation through movies, clips, plays, stories, through books or uh, through audio, podcasts, all of those are effective forms of communication. Now, while all of these different forms of communication have their own nuances, what we will be covering is the common elements. What is common among all of these different effective ways of communication so that we can try to understand what makes a communication effective, no matter whether it is a visual representation, whether it's a theatrical representation, or even if it's a written form. So this is what we will cover in the section to follow. But before we delve into that, let me now invite on the stage our table topics master for the second segment of our meeting, which is the table topics. So for today, our table topics master is Toastmaster Deepti. Toastmaster Deepti is a technical writer by profession, and she works with Synopsis. She's a mother of two, and she's been a Toastmaster for over 2 years now. Welcome, Toastmaster Deepti, and I'll hand it over to you to take this segment forward.
Thank you so much, Mohit. I love this opportunity of being a table topic master. You throw challenges at everybody and you smile. Well, the table topic segment is a segment where I will come with a list of random topics, mostly related to the theme for today. And I will ask for volunteers from the group here. Every volunteer will be requested to speak for a time limit of 1 to 2 minutes as described by the timer. We'll encourage you to use the word of the day and the phrase of the day while you speak on the topics allocated to you. And let's just begin. So who would like to volunteer as the first speaker? I'd like to invite an experienced Toastmaster so that we can demonstrate subtly how a table topic is handled. All right, we have Diptendu. Awesome, Diptendu. Thank you for volunteering. Okay, so the topic for you, Diptendu, is what's the most creative way you've tried to get someone's attention? What's the most creative way you've tried to get someone's attention? Diptendu.
By stalking. Well, let me elaborate. Many a times we are looking for guidance in life. We search for mentors, we search for experienced folks with whom we could share our problems with whom we could share our insights with and get some feedback in return. But many a times, the people whom we consider important are quite busy, and we are just not able to get hold of them. We have got 30 seconds, and in 30 seconds, the only thing that we can do is deliver an elevator pitch. Now, how to deliver an elevator pitch? I don't know. I'm not a salesman. I'm not an expert at that. But I know for a fact that if I'm looking for someone's time and attention, it is important for me to do my homework first. And the homework can be done at two levels. One, at the level of skill, and second, at the level of the person you are interacting with or you seek to interact with. For example, if I want to talk about the trade, about the field of technical writing, I would certainly go to Toastmaster Deepti Sahni. Now, knowing that she is a technical writer, I would do some social media research and see which company does she work for, how long has she been working, what sort of board experience she has in the field of technical writing, so that I can embed those words and phrases which are relevant to her, related to her, when I attack her with my queries. And of course, second is at the level of skill. That means I study myself about the trade of technical writing so that I don't come across as a complete idiot, and I come across as someone sincere who wants to actually gain some knowledge. So sincerity is extremely important, homework is extremely important, and most important is caring about the person whom you want to take knowledge from, whom you want to answer your questions. So Toastmaster Deepti, you know that everyone can come up to you for knowledge about technical writing. So how did you find my table topic?
I found it extremely enlightening, Toastmaster Diptendu. More than anything else, what I will take away today is that creativity just doesn't sprout out of nowhere. It takes a lot of sincerity, research, homework, and then brings out creativity. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, next up we have Ravinder. Sure, Ravinder, please unmute. The topic for you, Ravinder, is if you have, okay, and Ravinder, you the timer for today, so I will time you, right?
Yeah,
Don't you
that's
worry. So if you had a superpower for perfect communication, what would that be? If you had a superpower for perfect communication, what would that be? Toastmaster Ravinder.
I believe who all joined this Toastmaster has a dream to become very effective communication speaker who can left an impact on the audience. And yes, the shortcut is a superpower. Because I believe when we were kid, we had a dream because we used to see the cartoons. Shaktiman, who used to work in a minute. And there was, we just have to rotate something. And I seen many of my friends who jumped from the roof, house roof, because of the Shaktiman only. Because they thought if they will rotate this and this and this, and they will become Shaktiman. So that same thing happened with everyone. Wanted a superpower. For me also wanted. But yes, superpower cannot help you until unless you will do the hard work. Only hard work is the key to get success, to excel whatever you want, what you want to become in life. Yes, like I told earlier also, I want to become a very good communication skills, but I am not having any superpower. And that's the reason I'm not crying over split milk. I'm doing my best efforts. I'm doing my hard work. And that's the reason I joined this Toastmaster, which will help me to grow personally as well as professionally. But yes, if I had a superpower, I would like to stand over a stage where which is full of audience and I make an impact on their life. Either it's communication, professional, their growth in either way. So yes, if I had a superpower, I will do the noble cause. But in other way, superpower is not the key to success. We have to do the hard work. Thank you, Dipti. To able topic master Dipti, over to you.
Thank you so much, Ravinder. Thank you for removing or the curtains from us. We've always been happy about having a superpower, but bringing the hard truth in front of all of us is what you've done today. Superpowers are shortcuts. I love that takeaway. And it is only sheer hard work, the will to win, which takes us to places. So thank you for giving us or sharing your thoughts with us. Thank you, Ravinder. Okay, there's Bala who's raised his hand. Bala, would you like to come on video also?
Definitely, I'll do
Yeah,
that. I
thank you,
just have
Bala.
one query,
Yes.
before you give me the topic. I have to see the timing on this chat, is it? Or will I be shown the green, yellow, and red?
You want to see the timing on the chat as well,
No,
or not
I'm
on the
asking,
chat?
no, before when I think the previous speaker, when he spoke, the timings came on the chat.
Yes,
I could
that
not
is
see.
because, yeah, so that is because Ravinder is the timer for today. Okay, and he was speaking the table topic, so I was timing him.
Got it. Sorry.
But yes, Raminder is sharing screen to indicate timings. Okay.
Thank you.
Problem. Okay. Let me select a topic for you. Bala, we know you're a visiting Toastmaster. We've heard you. So likewise, I'll choose a topic for you. Okay. So there's a fun topic for you, Bala. The topic for you is, if animals could talk, which one do you think would be the best communicator and why? If animals could talk, which one do you think would be the best communicator and why? Toastmaster Bala.
Meow, meow, meow. That's my cat. And I never see her crying over a spilled milk because she never spills the milk. And she has an equivocate kind of communication. It says, if you don't give me milk, I'm going to shout. I'm going to shout at you. I can even come and barge you. I can even plunge, put my nails on your foot. And trust me, some days it has happened that 4 a.m. in the morning, she comes and bites my legs. Definitely, she does a soft bite. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is an animal which I feel can communicate well, I definitely feel it is the cat. What a communication! The communication comes very freely. When it needs something, there's no stopping the cat. When you need that cat to be silent, you just tell the cat, be silent, get out. Sometimes it does not listen to me, listens to my wife, but that's the way my cat is. And the things about a cat which I like the most is not just the communication skill, it's about being protective about the environment. People say that cats are not loving, they are not as good as dogs. I totally disagree because cats can be very protective for the environment. They will not allow any other animal to get in if they want. And they will communicate it very loud and clear. They will shout and they will just do that meow, meow, meow as loud as they can. I truly believe the cat is the best communicator. I believe in that. Would you all agree? Back to you, Tabletop Master.
Thank you so much, Bala. Thank you for creating a beautiful imagery. And I almost felt is Bala's there. Okay. I thought your video was frozen for a moment. After all that beautiful imagery, and I could actually feel a cat pouncing on me. Thank you so much. And yes, after you shared, I truly believe cats can actually be very good communicators. Thank you for your topic and your time, Bala. All right, love to see Ujjwal's hand up. Come on, Ujjwal, I'll give you a simple one. Don't you worry. Okay. So, Ujjwal, do you use WhatsApp
Yes.
frequently? And are you the kind of person who uses emoticons a lot, or you are more text oriented?
More of the text.
More text? Okay. Then let me change the topic for you, or rather give you the other one, which is, would you remember any funny miscommunication incident that you've had? Any incident which was funny because of a miscommunication? Or any incident that you'd like to share that comes to your mind, which is related with communication?
Whenever we try to speak some on some topics or in the forum, and if in some of the sentence we use, if the pause come later than expected, then it can effectively change the whole of the sentence meaning. Likewise, what is in the food today? Mom. And if I try to speak it again, what is in the food today, Mom? So effectively, if you see, both has different meanings. So whenever we try to speak or to communicate to somebody, the pauses has to be effectively used. Otherwise, it will make the whole of the sentence meaning drastically changed one way to another, not to South Pole. So pauses has to be taken care during the communication, in the professional world also and the personal communication also. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ujjwal. Yes, with your simple sentence, you've revived us or reminded us of the importance of pauses. In fact, you reminded me of a book we consider sacred in our tech writing world. It's by an author called Lynn Truss. And the title of the book is Eats, Shoots, and Leaves. Now, we can place the comma and adjust the name of the title according to what we want to, uh, think or feel. So whether it's about an animal who eats shoots and leaves, or it's somebody who comes, eats his piece of chicken, shoots, and then walks away like James Bond. It's totally up to us. But that's the power of pause and the punctuation. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, Ujjwal. All right, Toastmaster today and timer, do we have time for one more topic, or should we move on with our segment?
We can probably take one last topic.
Okay.
I see that, yeah, guest edrum.h has her hand raised.
Sure. Hi, Edom. I can see a black screen. If you switched on your video.
I think my video will not be visible. I don't know why it's blur
Problem.
or the black.
No problem, Edom. But you are a Toastmaster, right? You've joined a meeting before, is what I remember.
Yeah, but I joined as a guest. I'm not a Toastmaster.
You're not a Toastmaster yet. Okay. So let me ask you the same question that I asked Ujjwal. Are you a WhatsApp person and do you use emoticons?
Yeah, I am a WhatsApp person.
And you use emoticons well. I'm actually really looking forward to giving this topic as an impromptu topic, and that's the reason why I'm asking you. Would you like to take a shot at it? Yeah, I can see you now. Hey there. Thank you.
Yes.
Give you this topic about emoticons. Okay. I'm excited to hear your thoughts.
Sure.
Okay. So the topic for you is if you could only communicate using emoticons for a day, how would you handle it? If you could only communicate using emoticons for a day, how would you handle it?
Thank you so much for giving me a chance to appear in this tabletop, which is if you could handle emoticons on a day, then how could you handle? From my perspective, it would be a little bit difficult for me because I am not used to handle this situation on day-to-day life. While speaking and while communicating, it's quite easy to communicate the message towards the others and to understand that what I would like to handle the situation. But handling the very new topic, either it can be the images, it can be any of the visual representations, it can be the emotions, or it can be anything. Using it very first time and trying it very first time will definitely be a little bit difficult challenge for everybody. So I could try to use at least the basic emotions which can communicate the message properly. I know it would be a little bit difficult for the other readers as well to understand it properly, but at least we should try it. Which can be maybe a smile icon, or it can be laughter, or when we enjoy like a party or the celebrations, it can be easy to understand for everybody, whoever are trying to participate. Be it a sender or be it a receiver, we should try to use the easy emotions which can communicate the message and which can easily understand by the others as well. So that can be one of the technique. Slowly and gradually, we can add on few of the emotions as well, which can enhance the reading understanding capability for the sender and reader both. Slowly again, by following these practices in our day-to-day life, it will definitely strengthen the capabilities of both of the parties to understand the emotions, to understand the imaginary visual representations, and everything which is associated with this can be learned, can be can be communicated properly so that it can be uh, a learning situation for others as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Irun. Thank you so much. And it doesn't really seem that it'll be difficult for you to, handle emoticons. You actually called out the techniques for us. So thank you. Well, when I was writing down this topic, the thought that came to my mind was that I can send emoticons, but I don't know how the others are going to handle it, because I for sure am a lot of emoticon person. So thank you. I think I need to be mindful of the techniques you shared today. We should have, it's like a non-verbal communication cue that others also need to understand. So thank you. With that, we come to an end of the table topic session today, and I would like to hand over the virtual podium back to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Mohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepthi. Those were some really interesting topics, and you got everybody included, and the excitement is quite evident in the meeting room. And I hope I'm able to continue with the same level of excitement as I continue with my session. And we were talking about the different ways in which we effectively communicate. And then we said we will cover what are the common elements among all of these effective ways of communication. So there are four common things among all the communication forms that we talked about, be it visual representation through movies or reels or those kinds, or whether it is written communication or if it is verbal communication. There are some four elements which are common among all of these. So what you will see next is unpacking what those four elements are so that you know those four, and then you can get to become an ace in your communication. So let's unpack the first one, which is perhaps the most obvious one, also the most critical one, and that is content. Content creation for any particular presentation is the key. And some of you, I think Ravinder already shared that one effective way of communication is when you know the audience. So when you create the content, you should not and you cannot create content which is different from what your audience needs to know. Right now, I'm talking to a set of Toastmasters and a set of potential Toastmasters. So I have tried to create content well knowing the awareness or the understanding levels of my audience. So knowing the audience is a must when it comes to content. Second important thing is there shouldn't be too much content, right? Otherwise, you will lose the focus. In case of content, it is said that less is more. Today, I'm talking about async communication. How about if I have a topic which is about let's ace communication, collaboration, and leadership? Some of you will be like, all right, what is Mohit going to talk about? Is it communication or leadership? It's like too much content. So I will try to focus in ensuring that one key message can be passed to the audience. So that's where one idea and less is more. And the other thing when it comes to content is the hook. Hook is like when you go fishing, right? You put a hook below that, and that's where you catch the fish. Imagine if you don't have a hook, the fish will never come towards you. So in the same manner, when you start putting together a content, think about what is it that will attract the audience. I'm glad that it's a festive season right now, and still we have decent attendance. And probably that has got something to do with the hook. The hook was about how to ace communication. What are the challenges that you as an audience member face? That's what I started with. And that got you hooked to the idea that I want to know what's coming next because that's my challenge. So that's where, whenever you think about content, think about what are the challenges that audience faces. What is something interesting that I can share in the beginning that will keep the audience connected to what I have to share. And last but not the least, this is from the book Speak Like Ted by Carmine Gallo, where the author shares that there are three elements for making your talks compelling. And that's one is novel, you bring something new to the table. Second is make it emotional, something that connects the audience. And third is make it memorable or sticky. Try to do something so that the message sticks in their mind for a long time. So that's all about content. And some of you have been Toastmasters for a while, so you already know some of this. So let's practice this a bit, right? So in the next slide, you see that I have a question. This is for all of you, especially who are already Toastmasters. And for those who are guests, you can hold on because we will leverage your inputs on determining how everybody else did later. So for now, this is a question for all of us. Uh, think about content creation, develop content on this topic. What's the one thing you love about Toastmasters? Timer, can I request you to give 1 minute to everybody just to jot down the points? Don't create the entire structure. Don't think about how you will communicate. What are some of the content elements you would want to include? That's what you jot down in either the chat box or on your notebooks. Ravinder, please let me know once 1 minute is up.
Yeah, sure, Mohit. I'll flash message over the screen.
Okay, thanks.
We are done with 1 minute.
Okay, great. Thanks, Ravinder. And now I would like to invite anybody who would like to come forward and share with us what you have noted. I see that there are some messages in the chat box also, like Satish is saying, okay, no, Sati, this is something else. Okay. No, I think we just have the skill learned at TM can be taken to personal and professional life. Would anybody else like to share what you've noted down
Ragini
about
is also shared.
content? Yes, Ragini, please.
I think one major element will be each and every story is authentic and real to the person, which I admire getting into any Toastmaster club and hear about it. Authentic stories and humor. I possibly try to put humor and also other possible feelings like sadness or a very low phase in your life. If we could bring the vulnerability, that also catches the audience attention, and also the conclusion also should be like a takeaway because it is your authentic story. You are learning something out of it, and you will also let audience learn about it.
Okay, great. Thanks, Ragini, for doing that. Yes, would anybody else like to share what you noted down?
Yeah, I can share, although I've spoken a lot today. Okay, maybe Mehak first.
Okay, yes, Mehak, please go ahead.
I
What do you
think
love about Toastmasters?
feedback was one of the things that in a manner that its ability to motivate people and not to demotivate someone. And second thing would be the structure and the approach that follows in Toastmasters. We have a structured approach in every meeting. That's something that I love and would take away and would apply in my life as well. So these two things.
That's great. Okay. I see a couple of other hands. So let's make it short and sweet, but let's go with Ujjwal first.
Toastmaster is a community of people where they enhance their communication and leadership skills. They have a effective way of doing that with a strict timeline and a procedure to do so. If anyone as a guest also joins the community, then they can came to know about the relevance and the importance of the same. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Ujjwal. So fantastic points shared there. So when it comes to content, right, the first thing, like many of you did, you would have jotted down some points. What is it that you want to convey? For Ragini, the key point she wanted to convey was authenticity that she sees as valuable. For Mehek, it was perhaps the feedback which comes across as an effective one in Toastmasters. For Ujjwal, it is the entire communication and leadership that is the focus and within a structured time frame. So I think timing was the main thing you wanted to highlight, that it's done in a manner so that it's best use of everybody's time. So first point, before you structure all this, I didn't expect you to structure it, and some of you, all of you have actually structured it already, because that was the second element of the effective communication is all about structure. The first point of content is just to jot down what is the message that you want to convey. And besides the point that I shared, one key thing is there are things that people want to gain. Like in Toastmasters, they want to gain communication and leadership skills, but there is something that they need to gain. And if you make your content around what is it that they need to gain, then your message becomes even, your content becomes even more powerful. So in our discussion, for example, people need to know that your communication will improve if you apply the feedback that comes in the process. Like I was also jotting down, what I noted was that, to me, what I love about Toastmasters is that it teaches life skills. So this is something that people may not talk about. They might talk about, I want to become a communicator, I want to become a leader. What they really need is life skills, and that's what Toastmasters teaches us. So that's where the content comes in. Now the second, so you have the key message clear in your mind as part of the content, and the second part is then structuring it. So let me get us back to our slide. When it comes to the structure, so you can imagine the structure like you're traveling in an airplane. It's taking you from one place to another place. The structure does the same thing for a content. It takes you from one place to another place. If you just keep on revolving around the same point, then people will lose you, right? That's why in Toastmasters, there's a lot of focus on beginning, body, and end. In the world of instructional design or learning expertise, they call this the 3 tell method, which is to structure your communication so that you first tell them what you are going to tell them, then you tell them, and then tell them what you told them. This is the structure which makes communication more effective. Now let's go back to our question, the same question. What is the one thing you love about Toastmasters? Now, if you were to structure this, whatever content you have in mind, in 2 to 3 lines, and how would you make the structure so that it is most effective? Again, I would like to open it up for anybody in the audience to come forward. By now, you have the content. You have to structure it with beginning, body, and end to make it effective. Step 2. Anybody wants to come forward and share that? I see Ujjwal's hand is still up. Is that okay? Oh, Ravinder. Okay, Ravinder wants to go. Okay, Ravinder, yes.
Yeah, so I think when we are speaking, first of all, we start with the begin, whatever the topic you have or the content you have. But when you are starting with lines, so relating to that in the body, you must add one story, your story, which will take to the people, I think, actions, whatever is being started. And once you tell the story, the end with the results, the story you tell, what is the outcome of that, that will come in the end of the story. So
Right.
that is the, I think, content will take with the story and the beginning and end.
Right. Yes, you improve with practice, but yes, you're right. You try to make it interesting through a story. And the way I tell my Toastmasters, what I love about Toastmasters with everybody and how it changed me is that I say that I used to, and this is actually an authentic story, right? I used to get a feedback about not being able to get my message across to the audience. Then I joined Toastmasters, and then the same manager who gave me that feedback previously, coincidentally, I got to work with him again, and now the same manager tells me that there's something you've done. What is it that you've done? You're a different person now. So it, in a indirect manner, I'm able to, through storytelling, I'm able to get the same message across that I have learned communication and leadership as part of my Toastmasters journey. So very well said. This is where the structure comes in. Now, let's move on to our third segment of the meeting, and we'll come back to the 2 other missing parts of the jigsaw puzzle about communication once we are done with the general evaluation segment. So let me invite on the stage our general evaluator for the day, Toastmaster Mehak. Please come forward and take it away.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. Good afternoon, everyone. As I'm the general evaluator, so first we'll start with the evaluation for the prepared speaker. I would call upon Toastmaster Diptendu to please share your evaluation report for Toastmaster speaker.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. One of the most interesting speeches I've heard in recent times. Do you remember the objective of the project? It was for the speaker to share one aspect of her primary leadership styles and discuss other leadership styles in general. The speaker did exactly that. She spent 50 to 60% talking about her own leadership style and her journey as a Scrum Master, her leadership style being the altruistic one. 50 to 60% of the speech. The next 30 to 40% was running through some other leadership style like coaching leadership style, etc. So the adherence to project objective was on point, 10 on 10 on that part. We say that a speech should always start with a hook. In other words, the speech should have some shock and awe while it is being delivered. And I saw that plenty in today's speech. There were lows and highs. Lows, for example, not getting promoted for 10 years, in fact, 14 years. And the high of getting promoted 5 levels up from the current position. So there was shock and sharp contrast in the journey of the speaker, and that kept me hooked as the audience. But the most important thing is all of us are human beings. Human beings are inherently emotional. Therefore, emotional quotient of this a speech has to have emotional quotient. And for me, three things stood out. One, an engineer having to do grunt work. That means the engineer was not happy being passed on for promotions and good opportunities over and over again. Then, a most important part of the speech, talking about her own personality, that is, she being an introvert, which affected her leadership style and led her to be an altruistic leader. That theme recurred through the entirety of the speech and added the emotional quotient that was very much required to keep herself motivated for the speech and to keep the audience in her favor as well, and to keep the audience with her for the entirety of the speech. So the speech was very high on emotional quotient. Rarely do you find a speech with not just practical parts like failures and vulnerabilities, but also personal parts, for example, being an introvert. Moving on to some areas that I think could have been improved, the last 30 to 40%, when the speaker talked about multiple leadership styles, I think the sentences could have been constructed better. Because having to cover 4 different leadership style, as a coach, she could have said, as a coach, I did point A, B, C. As an authoritative leader, I did point E, X, Y, Z, so on and so forth. Make it very simple and clear for the audience. So sentences could have been better constructed in the latter part of the speech. Another recommendation would be the speaker started with an act right in the first sentence, even before establishing the characters. So the speaker could have taken a few seconds to establish characters and then start with the act that she was trying to convey. Another area of improvement could be this was not a speech, make no mistake, it was a story. Since it was a story, therefore, the message itself could have been summarized. The message, in fact, could have been amplified with a call to action when you have got such strong content. So these are some areas that the speaker could improve on. But as far as gestures are concerned, I was blown away, especially the part where she, with the help of her hands, demonstrated vertical growth, which actually was horizontal growth. So the gestures were on point and delivered the message that she wanted to convey aptly. In fact, folding her hands and bowing down was a gesture wise representation of her personality and her leadership style. So strong were her gestures. All in all, it was a very well crafted very well crafted speech. If only certain aspects of writing could be improved upon and a call to action is added, this speech would find audience not only in Toastmasters but outside as well. With this, I hand it back to Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Diptendu, for sharing such detailed and effective evaluation for Toastmaster Ragini's speech. With this, now we'll move ahead to the evaluation report by our tag team players. First, I would like to call upon our timer for the day, Toastmaster Ravinder, to share his report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mahek. So today we don't have any disqualified candidate. First of all, we go with prepared speaker Ragini. She took 6 minutes 55 seconds. Second, table topic Master Diptendu, 1 minute 56 seconds. Again, table topic Bala, 2 minute 20 seconds. Ujjwal, 1 minute 29 seconds. And Iram, 1 minute 59 seconds. So that all is report from my sides. And last is the general evaluator, Mr. Diptendu. I think he is disqualified now in this. He took 30 minutes and 52 seconds. So that all is about the timer reports. Over to you, Toastmaster Mahek.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ravinder, for sharing your report as the timer. Now, I would like to invite on stage Toastmaster Diptendu to share his report as the grammarian for the meeting today.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I was keenly observing every speaker, and there were barely a few instances wherein the sentence construction irked me or I thought that I should point it out. First of all, I'd like to commend people who use the word of the day and phrase of the day. Mohit Sahni used the word of the day. Ravinder used the phrase of the day. Bala also used the phrase of the day. In fact, Bala also used the word of the day. Interestingly, our prepared speaker Ragini also used the phrase of the day in her speech, which was very good awareness. So, all in all, I could see a very good, healthy mix of people using the word of the day and phrase of the day. So, I want to clap for you all. Very well done. Ladies and gentlemen, I am no expert in grammar, but one thing that I would like to draw your attention to is transitions. Many of us think that we don't have the vocabulary, but the thing is, we don't have transitions. So we might have five concrete ideas, but we don't know how to fumble or find it difficult to transition from one concrete idea to another. I'll give you one good example. For example, Toastmaster Mohit, after delivering President's address, handed the virtual stage to himself as the TMOD. That is where he used the phrase, which is where I am going to now hand over the stage to myself as the TMOD. So, which is where was a transition, and that transition was attractive enough for me to point it out to everyone else that focus on transition, Google it, learn it from Toastmasters meeting, etc. Some areas where we could potentially improve. So a speaker said, I have a lot of biggest challenges. It simply would have been, I have a lot of big challenges. Pardon me, I would be coughing. I'm not feeling well. I have a lot of big challenges. A speaker said, about what work we are there. About it could have been about what work we are using there or doing there, something of that sort. Many times we use the phrase then only. Instead, it should be only then. Another speaker used I when I talk in the mass. What the speaker actually meant was when I address a large gathering. So these are certain things we could improve upon. Another area that I could see was the whole of the sentence meaning drastically change. Instead, this should have been phrased as it changed the meaning of the sentence drastically. So, these are just examples of sentences which could have been structured more appropriately. And I would just recommend you to read newspaper of your choice, articles and magazines of your choice, and that would automatically help you improve your sentence construction. One pattern, a couple of good usages that I'd like to point out. The rule of three is quite famous in public speaking and in writing in general. So, for a Toastmaster said, creativity stems from sincerity, research, and homework. That is the rule of three being applied. Many a times, platitudes or appreciation can be shown with two words. For example, a table topic speaker said, slowly and gradually. Now, this is not an appreciation, but reinforcing a point. So, slowly and gradually, I walked on my path to becoming a better public speaker. Another part from the presentation of TMOD was less is more. This is a very three-word, small and powerful phrase. So again, commendation to everyone. I salute you all for using grammar appropriately. And I have highlighted a few sentences which could have been structured differently. Those who have spoken those sentences know who they are, but I'm sure the lesson is for all of us that we write more and revisit our writing so that our sentence construction improve. All in all of you did really well. Back to Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Dityendu, for sharing your report as the grammarian and for also sharing the fact that we can apply so many different versions and appropriately how we can use the grammar. Now, I would like to invite Toastmaster Ravinder again to share his report as the outcome for the meeting again.
Thanks, Toastmaster Mike. I seen the people who spoke more use more air counter like I used just now. So Mohit Mohit used 6 times in speech. Dipti used 3 times and 1 time you know. Ragini, when she was delivering the prepared speeches, she used just only 1 time count. But later she used 3 times 1 time like and 1 time you know. For Mehak, I seen the minimum it's 2 times For Deeptendu, it's again 4 times counter. And for Bala is the minimum 1. For Ujjwal, it's 3 time, 1 time and 2 time other words like so and other one. And for Iram, it's 4 times. So this all is my report. Generally, where to make. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ravindra, for sharing your report as the R counter. Now, I would share my report as the general evaluator for the meeting. First, we started the meeting 3:03 almost, so we were almost on time to start with. And since it was a compact and a small meeting, so we have all the role players ready. In fact, all the role players were present in the meeting today. Toastmaster Deepti started as the sergeant at arms with all energy. She also called out the mission statement of Toastmasters. Then she passed on the stage to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Mohit and Toastmaster Diptendu. Toastmaster Mohit greeted all of us with the festival greetings as well, and then introduced get with the guest introduction. He invited the guest on stage, asked them about their Toastmaster journey and how they get to know about the club. Then coming upon Toastmaster Mohit started as the Toastmaster of the day as well. He started on with a very inquisitive thought like how or what do you mean by the word communication and had it in the form of a breaking up in the form of maybe using as com. Then how and what do you mean by the 3 words that you shared on your screen? So that was a very good approach because in this way you grab the attention of the audience just from the beginning by sharing that what are your thoughts on this, what do you mean by them, and you may share your thoughts or experiences, whatever the word was taken, and then you called out about such a wonderful word like how a short word communication has come up and how and what does it mean basically. So that was a very good approach. Moving on, you in the second segment when you shared that if a certain ways how you can gain the attention that you have tried, most creative ways like how you can gain attention through communication. And not only this, you were asking from the audience what were the challenges and how are the creative ways that you can grab the attention of the audience, or what were the common elements in the communication method. So this was a great way to again grab the attention of the audience by asking them like what are their challenges with communication and how you can overcome those challenges as well in your communication strategy. So again, a great method involving audience in your approach 3 times and also sharing the presentation. So this was done really very well. Moving upon to our table topic master, Toastmaster Deepti, she had some really great topics that were aligned to the theme for the meeting as well. That is how to ace your communication skills. And what I observed was that all the topics that you gave to the audience, they were very much well creative and combined as well. For instance, one of the topics was what is the creative way to gain attention for the audience? What was the superpower that you have? Which animal is the best communicator, or any situation of miscommunication, and last one was of the emoticons. So the topics were very well structured that was being given to Toastmasters as well. So this was a very great thing, and the topics were really easy and yet challenging, something that the speaker has or can choose to speak upon. So great job done there. Moving upon to our evaluator, Toastmaster Diptendu. He shared the evaluation for Toastmaster Ragini in the CRC approach and has shared the feedback for Toastmaster Ragini to improve upon. Coming to our tag team players, Toastmaster Ravinder shared the report as the timer as well as the R counter. He also showed the timing cards very well during the meeting. Just a suggestion, so that he can improve upon, maybe during sharing his report as the timer as well as the R counter, you could have shared in a visual manner as well, so that you can share the report with the audience so that they can take back home like how much time they have taken, and similar report for the R counter as well to see that how many times they have been using the R's and Ms as well. Then to Toastmaster Diptendu as the grammarian for the meeting, he observed, he gave us the word of the day. He started on with appreciating the people who use the word of the day as well as the phrase of the day. And he also suggested like how we can improve upon by using the appropriate words in the grammar when we are making the transitions, and appreciated all the Toastmasters and the people in the meeting who used appropriate words as well. A suggestion for you would be just similar to show a visual representation. So what were some of the good usage of the grammar and the not so good usage of the grammar for the audience to take in and to remember maybe for the next time, like what they are the specific things to work upon in their grammar. All in all, it was a very good meeting. We had a compact session today and we were able to pull it off in a right manner. So this was my feedback for the meeting today. Now I would like to present the stage back to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Mohit, to carry forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mahek. It's a good section of evaluation. That's where we learn and improve. So thank you. Now, see, it was Diwali, and I'm sure some of you would have exchanged gifts, right? So imagine if somebody like me comes to you and gives you this gift, right? Hands it over to you just like that. Right? This is a bowl and a spoon. How would that make you feel as a Diwali gift? Anybody? If I hand this over to you as the Diwali gift? Your expressions are telling me it wouldn't make you feel great, right? And Ragini is laughing. So yeah, tell me, how does it make you feel, Ragini?
Doesn't seem to be a gift.
Doesn't seem to be like a gift, but I got this as a gift like that. You open this package
Oh,
and this is how it looks like when it comes out. And we were elated. This was such a beautiful gift that we got this Diwali. Does this thing make you feel a little better? How does it
yeah.
make you feel? Right? Those smiles are telling me. So that's what is the third essential of effective communication is packaging. Packaging is all about these points that you see on the screen. If I make an eye contact, I have a check on my R's and ums, all the stuff that we do in the Toastmasters meeting, use props. This was a prop that I used. Personal stories, voice modulation, even advertising, the public PR work that we do. All of that blurbs when it comes to write-ups, a small few lines about what's coming is what is known as a blurb. So putting all that together helps package the content in a nice manner. So going back to the point about what's the one thing that you love about Toastmasters, think about it. This is the message that you want to convey to somebody who's considering joining Toastmasters, right? How would you package it so that it gives the right intended message? Will you make an eye contact? Will you avoid ahs and ums? Will you use some sort of props or some credentials to make sure that packaging is done well? Only then will the message land in the right manner. And last but not the least, the fourth essential of any communication is the response. That is the reason for us to do the communication. And this point is often ignored. We often just have that idea of that I have presented my thought and that's done. But how well is it received is what makes the response of the message. Did it land as it was intended? Did it bring about any change in the audience? This acts like a necessary feedback loop also. In the beginning, we talked about some of the challenges that we face, and some of you mentioned that my voice modulation or my pitch is not right. I have a mother tongue influence. If you gather the response of the audience, you will understand how much importance audience is giving to that. Maybe the audience is not interested in whether you are having a mother tongue influence or not. Maybe they are interested in is the message itself. In which case, it's perfectly fine to not have a pitch or a voice, or even if it's a mother tongue influence, doesn't matter. But you have to hear and listen closely to what is happening, how the audience is taking it. Let me ask you one question. We always talk about eye contact, but what is the reason for us to do or make eye contact? Can anybody come forward and share your views? Main reason for eye contact.
Connecting with audience.
Okay. Can you elaborate a bit more? What does it mean connecting with the audience?
Like if in the physical mode, if you're attempting a speech and you're looking away from the audience, with the fear of looking into the eyes of the audience might lose looking at you or hearing you, or they will lose the flow of your content. So when you actually look at the person or try to look one person from the crowd and then switch your focus to other person, I think the audience will get connected and they will feel that they are talking to speaker is actually talking to the audience rather than just doing the project.
Right. So you mean that it helps the audience to understand that I am important and I'm being looked at, I'm being served well. That's
Yeah.
fine. But even beyond that, the main reason why we do an eye contact, especially this happens in the physical setting or even in the virtual environment, I'm looking at all of you so that I can gain the response. If I see people yawning, if I see that people are not quite interested, then it gives me a message that there's no point conveying all the 4 points that I came with. Even one is fine because the audience will sleep anyway, they wouldn't hear me out. So, making an eye contact is to assess the audience members to understand how my message is landing and then making adjustments. That is the main reason why eye contact is important. But thanks for sharing that. So that brings us to the 4 elements of communication, which are one is content. Can anybody help me? What was the second one?
Structure.
Structure. Yes. What else? You remember this box, right? Packaging.
Package.
Exactly right. Yes. And last but definitely not least is response. And response can be gauged in various manners. I was mentioning about this play that I attended a couple of weeks back. At the end of the play, the director came forward and he asked the audience their reactions. He asked them if they have any questions. In the process of that discussion, some of the audience members literally started crying. They were so touched by the message of the play that they started crying because they are people who have actually migrated from Pakistan, and their one of the audience members mother is 90 years old plus, and she actually was in Lahore when they had to move back to India. So he was literally in tears. So it gives the director the message that the message was landed the way that I intended for it to land. If Stree 2 was intended to be a comedy movie, and if it ends up becoming a hit because of a horror element in it, then the movie may be a hit, but the communicator should get a message that it's not landed the way in which it was meant to land. So this is the fourth and most important element of a communication, is to check the response. Many seasoned people, like this director is a very famous proven director. Similarly, my favorite Sufi singer Satinder Sartaaj, he does an audience, he asks the audience to rate him on a scale of 1 to, and at the end of his concert, imagine if such seasoned people who are already proved, for them they consider audience response important, then who are you, am I in the journey, right? We have still a long way to go. So response is important. Thankfully, Toastmasters does a huge focus on this, and that's why we have general evaluator and entire team which focuses on each and every element of communication. So that brings me to the end of this session. And as I conclude, I would like to share with you a definition that I would like you to remember about communication, which is content structured and packaged for intended response. If you remember this definition of communication, then no matter in which form you are trying to communicate, just make sure all these four elements will be present: content, structure, package, and response. So communication is nothing but content structured, packaged for intended response. I hope I've been able to cover some of the challenges that you raised in the beginning. But one thing that I would like to add myself is that the difference between success and failure, right? Can anybody tell me what that is? The difference between success and failure is this, right? Every time an opportunity knocks at your door to communicate, to present, raise your hand and grab it. And over time, you will have the practice and preparation to excel. So with that, I would like to conclude my session as the Toastmaster of the day. And that also brings us to the end of the meeting. So I would like to hand over the stage back to myself, where I would be wearing the hat of the presiding officer along with my dear friend Diptendu. And we would like to gather some feedback from the audience and then close the meeting. I'll share the audience voting link while you can have a chat with the audience, Diptendu.
Sure. So, this is the concluding part of the meeting, and we would love to hear from all of you your feedback for today's meeting. I can see Vinay at the bottom of my screen. Vinay, would you like to share your feedback of today's meeting in a sentence or two, or maybe three?
Yeah, hi Nitendra.
Hi.
Yeah, hi all. Yeah, first of all, the main speaker, Ragini, that speech was very good. It's very inspiring and well constructed. And coming to today's presentation, Mohit, I felt it is also very good and it is also very new to learn how to communicate and what are the things we need to take care in communication. And coming to the table topics, they are also very good and total the structure and
Vinay,
move to the
can't hear
point.
you.
Is it fine?
Yeah, now better.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's it, Nitendra. Thank you.
Good to hear from you, Vinay. Glad you had a good time at today's meeting.
Yeah,
Keep coming in as a guest, and I hope you consider joining one of the two clubs that are here today. Moving on
yeah, sure.
to Bala. Bala also spoke during the table topics. Bala, would like to hear from you your feedback of today's meeting.
I'm not exactly in a position to give the feedback because I joined a bit late. I almost joined towards the table topics session, but definitely kudos to Toastmasters Deepthi for having such wonderful topics. All the speakers in table topics, they were good. And evaluation, definitely, yes. I really loved the evaluation that was done right from the general evaluator, and specifically you, Toastmaster Deependra, you seem to be in that contest mode where you give that three positives and three negatives. That's what you seem to be, and that is good. And exactly like the general evaluator mentioned, you followed the CRC method. It was good evaluation, and the tag team as well. They give a specific report. I would agree with the general evaluator if they could give a digital report. That would have been a bit more effective. But yes, definitely the report was, at least to me, it came out good, and I loved being here, at least in the second part of the meeting, if I can say. And I look forward to joining your meetings whenever time permits, and definitely I'll be here in the future as well. Thank you, and
Thank
back to
you
you.
so much. Thank you so much, Bala. Keep visiting us. And it was wonderful hearing from you during the table topic session. Now, what about, let's hear from Ujjwal. Ujjwal, would you like to share some feedback about today's meeting?
It had been a great time. All the speakers presented very well, and looking forward to join this group formally for improvement at all the levels. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ujjwal. Keep coming, Key, and of course, you have made up your mind to join us. So, looking forward to your company in the future meetings. I can see Udit and Kiran also on my screen. So, Udit, any
Yes,
feedback for today's meeting?
thank you, Toastmaster Dipandu. So I really have joined the meeting after a long time, and I really liked today's meeting. Apart from that, I really like the. I'm really glad that I joined today's meeting, and really feel that it was a lot of fresh perspective I was provided over the meeting. So I really liked it thoroughly.
Wonderful. Glad you liked it, Udit. May I know whether you are a Toastmaster or a guest?
Yes, I'm a existing Toastmaster. Last 4 years, for the last 4 years,
Great.
I've been a Toastmaster. For the last few months, I was unable to join the meetings, but I
Cool.
would really am looking forward to going ahead and attending more of the Toastmasters meeting and connecting with people, Toastmasters again.
Absolutely, Udit. You know that we are a community, so keep coming in this meeting as well. Kiran, feedback from you for today's meeting? Kiran, would you like to share any feedback for today's meeting? All right, so Kiran has gone on mute. And few other members who were with us up until now have dropped from the meeting. So a big shout out to everyone who was a part of today's meeting. And Mohit, do we have the results?
Yes, we do have the results. Let me share that one by one. Of course, the best speaker for the day goes to Toastmaster Ragini, which is a round of applause for Ragini. And I would have happy to give the best evaluator to you, Diptendu, but you got disqualified today. And then, like Bala mentioned, you are preparing for the contest, so I better not give you the prize today, so you can remember that you need to work on that aspect. But thank you, you had a fantastic evaluation, and some people have actually mentioned your name as the best evaluator for the day. Going along to the best table topic speaker today goes to Toastmaster Bala. Huge round of applause for Toastmaster Bala. The best role player today goes to the Toastmaster of the day. So thank you. I'm glad you liked the session. And the best auxiliary role player today is like a mixed bag. So I'm just checking who eventually ended up winning the title. Let's see. Best auxiliary role player goes to the. It's actually exactly an exact match. So all the three role players have gotten exactly the same votes. So all three, including Diptendu and Toastmaster and Ravinder, have got the prize for that. Congratulations. And yes, that brings us to the end of this meeting. Thank you everyone for joining us and hope to see you next week.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.